Flagship is always the phone that creates an image about the company. It doesn't really matter if the flagships sell better than budget or mid-range smartphones. The flagship has to be a realistic combination of all the latest and best technology, of all the wow and bling. Still, it is supposed to be usable as a phone, daily usable. So this is the way it goes then. Flagship is a reflection of everything that company is. And this company is Xiaomi. My name is Dmitry Voloshin. This right here is the absolute flagship, the Xiaomi Mi 5S Plus. The phone was long awaited, and finally we can lay our hands on it. The successor to the ultra-popular Mi 5 has two versions, the Mi 5S and the Mi 5S Plus. They differ in size. The Mi 5S screen is 5.15 inches, whereas the screen of Mi 5S Plus is 5.7 inches. The Plus version has a dual main camera, having the same main sensor and the auxiliary black and white sensor. The top version of the Mi 5S Plus has whopping 6 gigs of RAM, while Mi 5S is limited to 4 gigs. The processor frequency also differs slightly. It is 200 MHz more in Plus, it is then 2.35 GHz, and the battery is also hefty, 3800 mAh compared to 3200 in the Mi 5S. Now let's go into the specifics of each aspect of the Mi 5S Plus. The screen, it is 5.7 inches of Full HD IPS. It is 600 nits of brightness and a pitch black blacks. The screen occupies the huge 75% portion of the phone's front side, which looks good. This is the part of the video where I go back to my usual theme of the Full HD being enough. So, Full HD IPS is okay on the screens of up to 6 inches. AMOLED needs more like Quad HD. Exception? Very close phone positioning to read something tiny like RDP, let's say. The screen itself is magnificent. It goes very bright because of such resolution while still being color accurate because of the IPS. The screen is covered with protective 2.5D glass, and I've heard info about Gorilla Glass 4 or its Chinese equivalent, but there is no certain data as of yet. The body is now fully metal. The Xiaomi have abandoned the full glass back idea, and now there is just beautifully brushed aluminum. There are 4 available body colors: the dark gray, the space grayish, silver light gray, gold, and pink, or rose gold. The space grayish color rules. Xiaomi have bundled a simple transparent plastic protective case with the phone, which is nice. You can keep the phone looking good until you buy some more cases, or just use this one. It doesn't abstract or ruin the looks of the phone in any way. There is a totally standard power button volume rocker combination, and not very standard dual nano SIM slot with no memory card support. It is a shame. Processor, the most powerful thing you can stick into an Android smartphone right now, the Snapdragon 821. This has the two 2.35 GHz cores and two 1.6 GHz cores that can all work simultaneously. Also here is the newest Adreno 530 video accelerator that runs at 653 MHz. This combination easily scores almost 164,000 points in Antutu benchmark, which is an astonishing number. Everything screams speed, especially with this screen resolution. Games all play with ridiculous frame rates. The all-new MyUI just flies. Every time when I do a review of a flagship, I always get impressed with the speed of the device and its overall gained usefulness because of this speed up. This will probably go on forever. I will just say that this processor is built using 14nm lithography and gives out less heat while using less energy. Also, you have to remember that Snapdragon is not just a processor, it's an SoC, a system on chip. So all the accompanying things like Wi-Fi, 4G, GPS or fingerprint scanning are right there on the chip, so they are done right for sure. The user memory, as it is according to a good old Xiaomi tradition, is related to the amount of RAM. The 64GB version has 4 gigs of RAM, while 128GB version has 6 gigs of RAM. The user memory is super fast. The file reading speed surpasses 400 megabytes per second, while write speeds almost reach 200 megabytes per second. This is the fastest cell phone memory I've seen. The speaker sounds good, louder and clearer than the already perfectly good Mi 5. There is still no stereo, and the second bottom grille still just harbors a single microphone. The headphone sound is yet again close to perfect. The clarity is good, the volume is good enough even with the larger headphones. There are your usual hardware sound profiles and the ability to play high-res music. The call speaker sounds very good. There is also an additional microphone for noise reduction. It works for both sound recording and calls. The phone supports the Qualcomm's Quick Charge 3.0. This latest version of Quick Charge goodness uses 12 volts at 1.5 amps to deliver 18 watts of power to your phone. I've had laptop chargers of this power. This means getting 83% of charge into completely empty battery in less than 30 minutes. This is even more impressive if you consider the huge size of the battery. This probably should not be used every time, and probably there is no such need, but the ability to throw your phone to charge it before leaving home in the morning and having healthy 83% of charge enough for a full busy day is priceless. The 3800 mAh battery is plenty big for this phone. It confidently lasts till the late night no matter how I try to deplete it. With turned on wireless and at usable brightness, you easily get over 8 hours of screen time, and this is a lot. This could easily be 2 proper days of usage if you turned it off for night. The charging and the data connection is done through the ambidextrous USB-C 1.0 port. The fingerprint scanner moved to the back of the phone like the simpler Redmi phones, and except for the slight reminder about Redmi, the scanner placement is actually my favorite. Your index finger just naturally falls into the exact same spot. The scanner is ultrasonic now as well, and its speed and accuracy is totally dependent on the Snapdragon part of the phone, and it rocks. It is immediate, precise and intuitive. Thumbs up. There are also 3 usual sensor buttons on the front, unlike the imitated physical home button of the Mi 5S. The main camera, as the trend goes, now has 2 separate lenses with 2 separate sensors, but this is not made for 3D or bokeh imitation. It is simpler. One camera is physically black and white, that's it. But because of the Bayer pattern filter absence and essentially tripled surface area of each individual pixel, we get superior light sensitivity and non-cell phone-like dynamic range. To put it simple, the black and white shots out of this phone are astonishing. But not only this, the black and white camera image is overlaid over the original camera color picture to aid sharpness and detail. Smart! The camera also has the phase detect autofocusing, which is always handy. Low light and critical focusing is now even faster. The camera modules themselves have a reduced resolution of 12 megapixels and an aperture of f2.0. The front camera has 4 megapixels that, together with big sensor size and their forward large individual pixel size, make all the important selfie things good. Realistically looking dynamic range and higher low light sensitivity. The main camera is good and it is capable of capturing high quality and high detailed images. The selfie camera is one of the best I've seen. If selfies are your thing, the Mi 5S Plus is your phone then. Video recording is possible in 4K with no stabilization or Full HD with stabilization. There is no optical image stabilization for either photo or video. Slow-mo is recorded in HD resolution only. Interesting stuff. There is now an ability to launch a few instances of the same application in parallel. This means that I can now run 2 Facebooks, 2 Instagrams or 2 Vibers, one for each SIM card. Handy. Not interesting? The IR port is gone again. NFC is still there though. The IR port is probably one of those things that come in waves. They appear and then they disappear yet to appear again later. Same goes to the memory card, by the way. That's it. I'm done. Subscribe to get more reviews like this. There will be plenty more interesting here. This was Dmitro Voloshin and the all-new Xiaomi Mi 5S Plus. Till the next time.